I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I almost didn't make a recap today because my AC unit is out and it's currently 83 degrees inside of my house. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is playing the outfield and Tristan McKenzie almost threw a perfect game. So yeah, we got to make a recap. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon. And also, shout out to you guys before we get into the highlights from yesterday. We hit 350,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. Even if you don't like me, if you watch my videos every so often just to stay up to date, that's my job. My one goal in life is to promote the game of baseball, and I think I'm doing a good job, and it's because of you guys. So enough with all of the mushy stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about the games from yesterday. The only walk-off happened in the Minnesota versus Tampa Bay game. We have Josh Donaldson driving in the first run of the game, and then he smacks a two-run double later on in the fourth inning. Tampa Bay, their bats woke up. Eventually, the game was knotted up after Wander Franco smacks his 6th home run of the year, and then Randy Arozarena ties it up. As Febar, he has to come in and kind of save the day for Minnesota, and he shreds up the Tampa Bay lineup in the 7th inning to escape a bases-loaded jam. Max Kepler leads off the 9th inning with a leadoff triple to left field. You very rarely see that, and then Jorge Polanco walks it off on a sacrifice fly to right field. Now, Max Kepler thought this ball was way gone, so he was almost not going to tag, and then the third base coach had to say, hey, get back here, tag up, he's going to make the play. So Randy, he does make the play, and the Minnesota Twins, they have 3 consecutive series victories in a row. They've beaten the Astros, the White Sox, and the Tampa Bay Rays. That's pretty solid, and they're 7-3 in their last 10. I think everyone expected this from the Minnesota Twins from the jump, but they've been terrible. Now, before we get into the NL East race, as well as the American League East and all the different wildcard standings, I want to talk about a very meaningless game, but to me, it meant a lot because Cleveland dismantled the Detroit Tigers 11-0, and whoever called up Drew Hutchinson, I want to send them an early Christmas gift because they essentially gifted me a free W yesterday. Austin Hedges, he drives in 2 on a squeaker to right field, and then J-Ram, that was home run number 26. Miles Straw makes it 7-0, and then Ahmed Rosario clears the bases. Now, he is no Francisco Lindor, but I'm not gonna lie, he's been a solid role player for Cleveland, and I like his tools because he's fast. He can run into a ball every now and then. I don't think that he's been caught on the bases. He's 12 for 12 in stolen base attempts, so I could see him at second base maybe going forward. Either way, J-Ram drives an RBI number 72 as 30,000 people were in attendance to try and see Miguel Cabrera hit homer number 500, but they almost saw Tristan McKenzie throw a perfect game. He tore them apart. He was unreal. So he goes 7 2/3 perfect innings until Harold Castro ruins it. Now, Tristan does come back to strike out Willie Castro for 11 strikeouts, only 1 hit in 8 shutout innings, just absolutely dominant. And then Emmanuel Clase comes in for 2 strikeouts. Let me just say right now, I know the offense is a little bit rough, but the future looks bright for Cleveland because Bieber and Savali, they haven't pitched in a few months, and they're still winning ball games. Yes, it's coming against the Orioles and the Tigers and different teams like that, but in 2022, I feel like we're going to be really good. All right, let's go ahead and talk about a few NL East teams. We have the Reds facing off against the Phillies. The Phillies, they have to win this game. Jonathan India, yeah, he has other plans in mind. He continues his Rookie of the Year campaign. He now has 15 home runs, 50 RBIs, and an almost 120 OPS plus. Luckily, the Reds do win this game. I'm going to spoil it right now because Nick Castellanos, you can't get ejected in the first inning when your team is going for a wild card spot because he might be their best hitter. And Jesse Winker is going on the IL. Shogo Akiyama ropes an RBI double. This might be the first offensive highlight for Shogo Akiyama since 2020. I don't remember another time in which we've showed him. Tyler Naquin drives an RBI on a bases-loaded walk, and then Bryce Harper does the same thing. He has been so good that pitchers are just straight up afraid to throw to him. Tucker Barnhart gets gifted a second chance. I don't know if I have the missed call, but the umpire botches a strike 3 that would have ended the inning, and instead, Tucker Barnhart drives in an RBI, and then Tyler Stevenson yanks a 2-run shot, so he now has 11 home runs and an almost 115 OPS in his first 104 games. For a catcher, that is amazing. The Reds are 2.5 games back for the second place in the wild card, and the Phillies, they fall 1 game back of the Braves because the Braves won yesterday. And that was in large part because Dansby Swanson has been playing like prime A-Rod lately. Good lord. So Victor Robles and company, they do some damage in the third for Washington, and the game is actually tied going into the 5th inning, and then Freddie Freeman does his thing. Freddie now has 25 home runs and a 127 OPS. And then Austin Riley goes back-to-back. He also has 25 home runs, but a 128 OPS plus, so he's having a better season than the 2020 NL MVP, Freddie. You have Dansby scoring on a wild pitch, and that was huge because the Nationals bring it to within 1 run, but they lose 6-5, and I just want to say Austin Riley, he ends the game with a web gem. I'm going to say this right now, Austin Riley is a superstar. The Braves are 1 game ahead of the Phillies for first place after winning 3 games in a row, and it was a good thing that they were buyers at the deadline because Soler and the other guys have been pretty good. So JT returned from the IL, and he is looking very comfortable. He smacks a 2-run bomb, and then Will Smith does it yet again. He hits a home run in every single game of this series versus the New York Mets. Trey Turner drives in an RBI, and then Max Muncy, he makes it 6 earned runs off of Cookie. I feel so bad for Carlos Carrasco. Just such a nice human, but I know the New York media is going to probably shred him this morning because he has not been very good in his few starts. Max Scherzer drives in his first RBI on a sacrifice fly, and Max Muncy hits another 2-run bomb to almost the exact same spot of his first home run over in left center field. Scherzer tosses 6 innings with 7 strikeouts. Will Smith knocks in 2 more RBIs in the 8th, and then Matt Beatty almost goes 450 feet off of a positional player. This was just straight up mean. Muncy has 25 home runs and a 160 OPS plus. Will Smith has a 140 OPS plus with 18 home runs. The Dodgers are just straight up not fair. The other 2 powerhouses, the Giants faced off against the Rockies, and then we'll talk to the Padres in just a moment. We have John Gray versus Alex Wood, a pretty fun pitching duel up until the 5th when Kurt Casale breaks the seal and Tommy La Stella just barely misses a grand slam. He missed it by about 4 centimeters. Alex Wood only allows 2 earned runs, but he was taken out because he was struggling later on, and then Lamont Wade Jr. saves him. He almost allowed 3 runs, but this seed to home plate saves it for Alex Wood. Then you have Austin Slater knocking in Chris Bryant, and Wilmer Flores makes it 5-2 as Jake McGee collects save number 25, and he lowers his ERA to 2.72, so he has been money. The Padres versus the Diamondbacks. Fernando Tatis is playing right field, and then he doubles in his first AB back from the injured list. It is so weird to see him in the outfield, but honestly, it doesn't matter if he's playing right field, left field, catcher. He hits home run number 32, so every single time that he has come back from the IL, 3 different times this year because he's missed 32 games, he has hit a home run in his debut back. Then he hits home run number 33, so he's averaging a home run once every 9 at-bats. He is the MVP, whether you want to admit it or not. Jake Cronenworth stays hot. Fernando Tatis goes up the middle for 2 RBI, so he has a 4 RBI day. Cronenworth, another RBI on a bases-loaded walk, and then Tatis scores on a wild pitch. San Diego, they stay 2.5 games ahead of anyone for 2nd place in the wild card. Moving on over to the Yankees versus the White Sox. Rougned Odor turns on a pitch for a 2-run home run. His 97 OPS plus is the highest since 2018, so good for him. Still not great, but he's having a decent season. Brett Gardner drives in an RBI, and Nestor Cortez was fantastic. 6 innings, 1 earned run on 7 strikeouts, and Luke Voit showed some much needed power with a 2-run home run to put New York up 5-1, and that was big time because the Yankees bullpen is horrible in the 9th inning. They narrowly survive in the final inning, and they are 2.5 games back of 2nd place for that last wild card spot. The Red Sox versus the Orioles. Mr. JD Martinez has been unstoppable lately. He hits a 3-run home run, so he now has 25 bombs with almost 80 RBIs on the season, and Eduardo Rodriguez has 6 strikeouts, does not allow a single earned run. Kyle Schwarber doubles, and then Kike Hernandez scores him on an infield single, and then Hunter Renfroe as well as Xander Bogaerts, they drive in a few more runs. Now, I do want to mention a random player for the Orioles. So Jorge Mateo was DFA'd by the Padres, and the Orioles picked him up. Mateo is on a 6-game hitting streak. He has 3 stolen bases in 9 games. I think that he can be pretty good for Baltimore with consistent playing time. He wasn't going to get that in San Diego. Either way, Boston, they're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're now just 3 games back of the Rays. Moving on over to the Jays versus the Mariners. Teoscar Hernandez smacks his 20th home run. Now has 36 home runs, 115 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, a 141 OPS plus in his last 148 games, so he is the definition of a silver slugger. Randall Grichuk goes yard as well, and then Alejandro Kirk ropes a 2-run double in the 3rd for Steven Matz, who was able to throw 5 solid innings, does not allow a single earned run, and has 4 strikeouts. Corey Dickerson hits his first home run as a member of the Jays, and even though Marcus Semien has cooled off, he is still going to get 2nd and 3rd place MVP votes along with his buddies Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Shohei Ohtani. So the Jays are 4.5 games back of the 2nd place in the wild card spot. Another team going for the wild card, the A's. They fall to the Texas Rangers yesterday as Kinder Falefa knocks in an RBI on a double, and DJ Peters, I love this for him. He hits a 2-run home run. Now, Matt Chapman, we talked about him yesterday. He had a 97 OPS plus yesterday, and with his 17th home run, he is back over 100. He has a 101 OPS plus. Happy for him. Adolis Garcia, I miss his bat flips. He tosses this one. This was almost a bat, what would you call this? A bat tornado? I don't know. That was homer number 26 right before DJ Peters picks up his first multi-home run game of his career. So the trend continues. If the A's win, the Astros win. If the A's lose, the Astros lose. And that continued yesterday as Reed Detmers was finally himself yesterday. The #1 pitching prospect for the Angels. He was carving up the Houston Astros until Michael Brantley hit a home run in the 3rd. But luckily, that was all that the Houston Astros were able to grab yesterday. David Fletcher drives in an RBI in the 5th. And Reed was throwing frisbees into the 6th inning. He only allows 3 hits and has 6 strikeouts. Joe Adell, he uses his speed to avoid a double play, so he knocks in 1 more run. And then Phil Gosselin, with his 4th home run of the year, he gives the Angels a 3-1 lead, and Raisel Iglesias, he closes it with 3 strikeouts for his 26th save. The Cardinals beat up the Royals yesterday. Nolan Arenado makes it 1-0, and then Rondon, I don't know how to say his last name, he drives in 2 more right before Paul Goldschmidt brings in another one, and Nolan Arenado now has 9 RBIs in this series. He hits a home run and then goes back-to-back with Tyler O'Neill for the 2nd time in this series. Salvador Perez does have 30 home runs, which is cool, but the Royals, they got smacked in the mouth. The Cardinals are on a 6-game winning streak. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and Nolan Arenado has a 129 OPS plus on the season. The Brewers beat the Pirates yesterday. Willy Adames steals a bag, and then Eduardo Escobar, all he has to do is put the ball in play, and Pittsburgh will do the rest. So it's 1-0 Brewers, and then Yelich, he scores Willy Adames on a double, and over his last 134 games, only 18 home runs and a 105 OPS plus. So Pittsburgh, they score a run, but Josh Hader, he shuts it down. And Adames, he has been playing like an MVP for the Brewers. He has a 297 batting average with 22 doubles, 16 home runs, and a 150 OPS plus in 74 games. And then last but not least, Magneuris Sierra has been hot lately for the Marlins, so he drives an RBI. And then Frank Schwindel, speaking of hot, he has a 370 batting average with 13 RBIs and 4 home runs in his first 14 games with the Chicago Cubs, but it doesn't matter because Eliezer Hernandez tosses 5 1/3 innings with only 1 earned run. Jazz Chisholm goes 435 feet, and Jesus Aguilar hits a 2-run home run in the 7th. The Cubs have now lost 11 games in a row, and in my opinion, are the worst team in Major League Baseball. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it until the end, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are not. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off. Thank you all so much for the support, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
And he hits another one to right field, and this one is going to be the record for Derek Jeter as Pena goes to 3rd, and Derek Jeter in at 2nd with a record-breaking double.
Well, Derek Jeter takes care of that record in 2 trips to the plate, a single his first time up.